Hello beautiful people, are you ready for day 2 of our Body Sculpt Pilates project? So we're going to start off like we did yesterday with a little bit of breath work. So I just want you to find a comfortable position with your legs crossed, hands just relaxed down on your legs for now, and I just want you to sit up nice and tall out of your hips and gently close your eyes. Now you're going to turn your attention to your breathing. It's all coming in through the nose and out through the nose. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Each time you breathe in now, I want you to start to make the breath lighter and more gentle. On the inhale and on the exhale. So as you inhale, it's like you can barely feel the air coming in through the nose. Try to imagine that the little hairs in your nose are barely moving. Feel the slightly cooler air entering your nose and the slightly warmer air leaving your nose. Smooth, silky breaths in and out through your nose. Focusing on nothing else, just these breaths. Okay, now you can start to blink your eyes back open, and hopefully you're feeling a little bit more relaxed and ready to go into our mobility section of today's class. Okay, so we're going to start off today with some neck tilts. Alright, so stay seated where you are. You're just going to take your hand, place it on the side of your head, and we're just going to tilt the ear down towards the shoulder. This opposite shoulder stays exactly where it is. It doesn't start to raise up. If anything, you're pulling it down towards the mat to increase the range of stretch in the neck. Come back up to center and switch sides. Beautiful. So now we're going to move into some sternum circles. So with this one, just like yesterday, we're pushing sternum forward, just the sternum, and then round to the right, pull it back, and over to the left. You're really trying to get deep into this circle, almost as if you've got a pole running all the way down through your head and coming out where your coccyx is, and you're circling the sternum as far around that pole as you possibly can. Switch directions. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Try to keep your head in the same position. It's not easy. Just pushing that sternum around. Okay, and relax. The next move we're going to do is shoulder rotations. So you're just going to hold your hands still, push your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Head doesn't move, rib cage doesn't move. Just the shoulders, forward, up, back as far as you can, down as far as you can. And now let's turn this into a more circular motion. Again, really scooping as far as you can into the circle. Everything else relaxed. Switch directions. Really pulling the shoulders back and pushing them forward. Getting that nice scoop around. Okay. So, now we just need to grab a band or a towel or something if you haven't got one. Just grab one. So either a towel or a band if you have one. Either or is good. Just going to start off with this band and holding it at just wider than shoulder width apart. You're going to start to do dislocates, scapular dislocates it's called. So we're rolling over and round. Try to keep the length in the crown of your head. Don't start to jut your chin forward. Rib cage stays still as well. Just one more. Okay, and now you're going to sit with your legs outstretched. And we're going to raise this band over our head, and you're pulling the right hand down, which bends the left hand over your head. And let's switch over to the other side. Again, you stay sitting nice and tall out of the hips. Nothing's moving. There's no tension in the neck. Rib cage isn't flaring. We're just warming up through those shoulders. Beautiful. Side to side. Really think about your scap staying in your back, your shoulder blades. Feet are flexed. Nice. And we can put that band down now. And we're going to do some reach forward and reach back. So you're reaching forward as far as you can. Doesn't matter if that's your shins, your toes, wherever. Head comes down, lengthen through the crown, and then one arm reaches all the way back and forward. You keep that chin tuck with your head and just allow your head to move naturally as your arm does. So we're just going back and forward, keeping the feet flexed. Really think about raising up out of your hips and then forward. Lengthen the crown of the head. Don't forget to breathe. Okay, and relax. And now we're just going to do some hip flexor strengthening exercises. So with this one, you're going to have your feet flexed, and then I'm going to pick up my right leg and move it out as if it's going over an imaginary block there. You know, you could just imagine that you've got a block and you're picking it up and over. You can put something there if you wish, but you don't need to. It's just about the movement. So stay sitting up nice and tall. We're just rainbowing from side to side, keeping those feet flexed. Stay sitting up nice and tall. It doesn't matter how small this movement is. We are building strength in the hip flexors. Got to start somewhere, right? Beautiful. Okay. So now we're going to come up into a half kneeling position. So that's a 90 and a 90. And then what I'm going to do is this right hand, which is the opposite hand to my front leg, comes down. The other elbow is driving up and reaching back. And then we come down and then drive it up and back again. Come down, elbow drives, reach back, follow the fingers with the eyes. Keep those abs pulled in. There shouldn't be any weight coming through the hand that's on the mat. If there is, just shift your weight into that supporting knee a bit more. Really rotating through your thoracic spine here, which is that upper part. Beautiful. Okay, so from here, we're actually going to start to do some ankle raises as well. So we're coming forward and letting the ankle drive up and then come back. Forward, let the ankle drive up. You're staying still in here, not starting to push forward too much. Nice and still from your head down through your hips. Just really each time, just push slightly more on that ankle. This one's good for warming up your toes as well, which is really important. Can't forget our toes. Beautiful. Okay, and the last one on this side is we're going to do some knee openers. So as we come forward, we're actually just going to push the knee round in a circle, lean back with the body, and then we're going to come forward again, pushing the knee to the outside, leaning back, circling round. Just really warming up through the hip. Pushing out. If you're feeling any pain on the inside of your knee, just make the movement a bit smaller. Or you can go the other way, bring it into the inside, just to counteract. Keep your abs pulled in, always abs in. Beautiful. So we're going to switch over so that we've got the other leg. We've still got that nice 90-90 angle, and then I'm going to put my opposite hand down to the front foot, and then this arm is driving, hand reaches back, looking at my fingers, coming back down. Drive the elbow, reach the hand back, wiggle those fingers as far back as you can, and then come back down. Nice, slow, controlled movement. Just really getting as far as you can with that thoracic rotation. Getting out any creaks and cracks that we might have stored up. I just got out of bed, so this one's great. Okay, so moving on to those ankle raises. So you're just coming forward, applying pressure through the toes and lifting the heel up. And you're staying nice and straight from your hips upwards. No tension at all. Everything here is all nice and relaxed. We're just pushing up through those toes and lifting the ankle. Actually feels really good for me today. I didn't realise I had stored up tension in the toes on this foot. And that's what's great about mobility, honestly. You find so much tension that you never knew that you had, and then you get rid of it. Lovely. Pushing back up. Pushing forward. Beautiful work. Okay, so now we're going to move into those circles. So the knees coming forward and you're just coming round. So the knee comes forward and we're circling out to the outside. To the outside. This hand is just down here for a bit of stability. It doesn't really impact the movement at all, and there shouldn't be much weight in it. All the weight is in this back leg here. Circling round. Waking up through that hip joint. Feels so good. Oh, nice. Okay. So come on to all fours and we're going to do some arm threads, but this one with a reach back. So with the arm threads, let's pick our right arm up and we're going to push it through, thread it through, and then the cheek comes down to the floor, and then the opposite hand is going to reach all the way back as far as you can, and then it's going to come down to clap the hand, and then we're reaching back again. Exhale as you reach back. Inhale, coming back together. Exhaling, reaching back. Really push off the back of the hand that's on the mat to help you get an extra stretch. Okay, coming back up. We're going to switch sides. So drive that left elbow up, pushing it through. My left cheek comes to the floor. And then I'm raising my right arm back as far as I can. Coming back down, clap the hand, and come back up. Make sure that you haven't let go of your abs here, that you're still holding them in. The abs support the spine. They go hand in hand. They are a partnership that should always be together. Abs supporting the spine. Keep your feet on the ground for this one. Your toes will want to lift off, but drive them into the mat. This is your last one here. Okay, and we're going to do a child's pose. So feet together but knees wide. But with this child's pose, we're going to slink our way forward into a cobra. So we go from child, and then you're pushing forward, straight forward, 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 until you come down. And then hands come behind your head, just coming up with the upper part of your back, not the lower part. Come back down, and then pushing yourself back. Toes come back together, knees stay wide. Stretching out through those shoulders, and now push yourselves forward again. Keep those abs really, really pulled in. Remember, they need to support the spine. Super important in this move. Beautiful. So, coming back up. We're going to do some cross behinds with our legs in an all four position. So engage through the shoulders. We're picking up our left leg. He's coming over to our right hand side on our toes, and then the hip drops all the way down to the mat. Hands stay still. Push yourself back up. Swap the legs. Picking up my right leg, coming over to the left hand side. I'm letting my hip drop down, and then I'm pushing back up. Coming over to the other side. Hip drops down. I really love this move. It just feels so good. Gets all the way up that lateral side of your body. Whoop. Okay. And now we're going to move into some dynamic pigeons. So if you need something like a block, then grab it. Otherwise, come into a plank just for a moment and then bring opposite foot behind the other hand, and then let the knee fall down, and then your hips are coming down towards the mat. Try not to rotate this back leg. Keep it straight down, knee pointing straight down towards the mat. And then we're just going to do some push-ups. So lengthen the crown of the head, extending through here, and pushing up and down. Really, all of the weight is in your hips right now. There's hardly anything in my hands. I'm only doing these push-ups just to stretch into those hips a bit more. Beautiful. Okay, we're just going to swap sides. So push that leg back, other foot comes behind the opposite hand and the knee falls out. We keep that back leg nice and straight on the mat. And then we can start to do our push-ups. So nice and gentle. Remember, all of the weight is in your hips. Reach that extended leg out behind you. Really creep it back. Oh, this feels good. Feels so good. Lengthen the crown of the head. Keep those abs pulled in. Keep going. Okay, and just roll yourself around. And you're going to get yourself set up into a yogi squat position. So get these feet on the mat first, if you're not very good at getting into a yogi. And then have them pointed out about 45 degrees, and then you can come up. It's the easiest way to get into a yogi squat. Okay, so hands are together, elbows are on the inside of the knee, and we're pushing the legs in, and then using the elbows to really extend them out wide. So pushing the knees in, squeezing those elbows together, and then the hands come down, pushing those knees wide. Sitting nice and deep, chest is up as much as you can. No tension in your head. Just one more. Okay, so from here, in your yogi squat, you're just going to find length in the crown of your head, and then the hands are reaching forward as far as they can, and you're going to raise them up without raising your head, touch down to the mat. Arms raising up, touch down to the mat. Arms raising up, touch down to the mat. Try and make sure you've got weight evenly distributed in your feet here. You're not just in your heels. Raising up with those shoulders as far as you can. Make the movement. Doesn't have to be huge. It does have to be a quality movement. So we're going for in all of our sessions. Quality movements build a quality body. Okay, and relax. Alright, so you can come down into your starting Pilates position, which is on your back, knees bent, feet on the floor, hands relaxed down by your side, chin tucked, and just a neutral spine here. I'm just going to talk you back through the T-zone. So remember, the T-zone is our pelvic floor and transversus abdominis. So we're pulling that pelvic floor on. T-zone tight means pull that pelvic floor up, 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 up. And then hip bone to hip bone, squeezes in to meet that. And then we flatten everything down to the mat using our lower abs. Okay, so relax the T-zone, and now T-zone touch. Pulling up, hip bone to hip bone, flattening down. Relax. One more time. Up, hip bone to hip bone, flatten down. Okay, beautiful. So remember, you can always test your T-zone with your fingers inside those hips here. They will contract slightly when your T-zone is tight. And the other things that we are going to talk about, so we've got our neutral spine and imprinted spine. So remember, with a neutral spine, our hand diamond would sit completely flat. So just put it there, hip bones to the pubic bone. And then when we imprint the spine, so draw those lower abs down to the mat, you feel your fingertips raise. So just play about neutral, imprint, neutral, imprint. Beautiful. Okay, so breathing. Those hands move to your ribs here. Inhale through the nose and feel the ribs expand into your hand. Exhale, the ribs are closing down towards your hips. Inhale, expanding outwards. Exhale, nice forceful breath with the mouth. Really close them down. Once more. Beautiful. Okay, and then our other cues is length through the crown, which we know means to extend through there, which naturally tucks our chin. Shoulders down and back. So imagine that point where you do up a bra on the back. That's what is pulling together and down. Okay, so let's move into our very first move, which is going to be actually on our side today. So let's come down, find a nice long line, and then we're going to have the top foot on the floor, and then all we're doing is raising and lowering that bottom leg. So you've got your shoulders stacked one on top of another, hips are stacked one on top of another. Your hips aren't rocking forward or backwards. You can point through that lower that foot that's reaching out. Stay nice and controlled. Exhaling to raise up. Inhale, come back down and reset the T-zone. Okay, so now we're going to move into our clams. So just bring your knees up so that they're one on top of another and your heels are in line with your bum. And we've still got that nice long line, shoulders, hips, feet. So T-zone tight, and we're going to exhale, peel that top leg away from the bottom knee, but not so far that you start to open up and rock back. Only a small movement so that you can maintain the T-zone activation. So opening up, inhale to come back down, exhale, slide ribs to hips. Inhale, T-zone. This one, I want you to grab your hand and put it on this glute med that's right up at the top. This muscle here. Make sure it's activating. If it isn't, squeeze your heels together a little bit harder and tighten through that T-zone a little bit more. Beautiful. Nice work. T-zone tight. Alright, so we're going to advance this one a little bit, and you're actually going to raise your feet up into the air, still in line with your bum, and the same movement is going to happen again. So tighten through the T-zone, chin tuck, shoulders down and back, squeeze the heels, and exhale to open. Inhale, come back down. Exhale to peel away. Inhale, come back down. Make sure you're testing that your T-zone's on. Get those fingers in there. Try not to collapse in the waist. Use your hand to push away on the hip to lift up through the waist. Really important that you're squeezing your heels together throughout this whole movement. That's what's going to really activate the glutes. And remember, we're not rocking backwards. So this hip stays perfectly in line throughout the whole movement. It doesn't move backwards or forwards. It stays completely straight, and we're just levering up the knee. Okay, so the last one that we are going to do on this side is a kick out. So from the same position, but this time we open up with an inhale And then extend out long. Exhale. Inhale, heels come back together. Exhale, knees together. Feel the booty burning now. So inhale to open. Exhale to extend out long. Find beautiful length. Keep your knees straight forward. Ankles come together. Knees come together. Squeeze that T-zone. Open up. Exhale, ribs to hips. Inhale, heels together. Exhale, back down. Inhale, T-zone, T-zone, T-zone. Exhale, stretching out. Inhale, heels together. Exhale, knees together. Beautiful. And again, opening up. Extending out long. Okay, this is the last one. So come down and rest. Booty should be burning. Let's switch over to the other side. So we're starting off with that inner thigh lift. So let's find our beautiful, nice alignment here with our arms, shoulders, hips and feet. Bring that top foot over onto the floor. And as you're ready, you're going to start to lift that underneath leg, which is pointed through the toes. And you're just lifting and lowering. This movement can be super small. It's not easy to do, especially if you're like tight through your hips, which is something that will get easier as we progress through this course. But obviously this is just day 2, so don't beat yourself up if this movement feels super awkward, because it is a weird one. Just think about really activating through that inner thigh and just pulsing up and down gently. Stay lifted through the waist. T-zone tight. No tension in the shoulders or the neck or the face. And relax. Okay, so you're going to bring those knees up. They're on the floor to start with. Ankles in line with the bum. Everything else in its nice straight line here. Hand on the hips. Shoulders down the back. Chin tucked. Squeeze those heels together. And exhale. Peel that top knee away from the bottom one. Only going as far as you can with keeping that hip straight in line. It hasn't moved. Imagine that pole that's coming down through your hips. It can't move. So that means that you can only open your leg as far as you can before you start feeling it wanting to move back. So inhale, tighten the T-zone. Squeeze the heels, exhale and peel. Should have a nice neutral spine here. You haven't started to tuck your bum under. Ribs as gliding down towards the hips. Close them down. Nice. T-zone tight. Squeeze those heels. Okay. So now we're just going to do the same again. So lift the feet up off of the floor. And we're going to do exactly the same move. If this one feels like too much for you, just go back to the OG with the feet on the floor. But otherwise, inhale T-zone, exhale, squeeze the heels, peeling that knee open. Remember the hip doesn't start to sway back. Inhale, come back down. Squeeze those heels. Exhale. Inhale, come back down. Every exhale, think about ribs to hips. Every inhale, tighten through the T-zone. Exhale, squeeze the heels. And put your hand on the booty. Check that it's working. Nice. Squeezing up. Relax back down. Tighten the T-zone and open. Okay, so last one on this side. So we're moving into that kick out. So this time we inhale to open. Exhale, extend the leg out long. Inhale, feet come back together. Exhale, knee to knee. Okay, here we go. So just make sure you still got your chin tucked, shoulders down and back. You've got a neutral spine, hips are stacked, T-zones tight. And we are squeezing those heels together. Starts to get difficult as you get tired. But if you are getting tired, you can always just go back down. The easier option is to just go back to one of the levels that we've just been doing. Harder option, you can stay out in an extension for a bit longer and maybe even do a little heel raise. See how you feel about that. See what that does to the booty. Loves it. Stretching out. Little heel raise. Woo. Okay. Nice. So, losing my earphone, we can actually just come all the way back up to seated. You'll be pleased to know, or maybe not pleased to know, that the Pilates aspect is done. And so we're just going to do some stretching. We've obviously worked hard on our glutes in that Pilates, so we're going to actually do an overcrossed stretch here. So you're overcrossing your legs, hands on your feet, and you're keeping your bum on the ground, lengthen the crown of your head, and you're just leaning forwards, come back up, and then lean forwards, and you're going to hold. Start to slow your breathing right back down. Remember that really nice, gentle, light breathing all through your nose. All right, switching sides. So holding those feet and leaning forwards. Breathing in and out with your nose. Lengthen the crown of your head. Okay, now we're actually going to go back into that pigeon. I know probably doesn't seem like a great idea, but it's going to feel awesome. So we bring the foot behind the opposite hand, we let the knee fall up, then we're just going to sit into it this time, no push-ups. So you sit into it where it feels good for you. Make sure that this back leg is nice and straight. You can come down, you could stay up, whatever. Such a good deep stretch. Okay, let's just push up, swap sides, opposite foot behind the other hand, let the knee fall out, knee onto the mat, and then find a good position for you. Keeping that breathing really light all through the nose. Eyes closed. Shoulders down and back. Okay, and then just come back up, roll yourself round. And we're just going to put our hands underneath our legs here so that our palms are facing up towards the sky, soles of our feet are together, and then we're just going to really tuck the forehead down towards the pubic bone, expanding through that upper spine. One last deep breath. And you can move your hands back out of there. And we're done. So feel free to take a moment to just lie on the mat with your eyes closed and just enjoy the good feeling that is running around your body right now. But you might have to get on with the day. But at least you can feel good about what you've done for yourself. We are sculpting bodies in these classes, and that means that we are working on joint vitality, muscle health, muscle lengthening, muscle tone, and obviously our core strength. So that's our core that's here, and it's also our core that's here. All right, so we're posting 3 videos up a week for this one, and it's a 6-week course. So enjoy. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you enjoyed it, so that I'm motivated to keep producing more content for you. And I will see you back on the mat for the next episode. Thanks so much. See ya.